It is suggested to me that I shouldn't be wasting your time, that I should get on with it, and I think that's a wise suggestion. So basically, these are just some concluding remarks in relation to the weekend that we've just been through. It was a long weekend. It was our longest weekend of deliberations, and I'm very grateful to all the members and who are here, and to our expert advisory group who are here, and also to the staff who have done a fantastic job, as usual. I would like to thank all the groups who attended today and presented papers to us. I think the members will agree that we have heard a wide-ranging, diverse and often conflicting range of arguments on the issue. And indeed, the arguments generated some interesting questions from the floor. All of the group's presentations will be available to watch back online later today, as will all documentation from this weekend's proceedings. I would also like to thank all of those groups that made submissions and as you know, I've said this repeatedly, I said it several times today, all of the submissions we got are on the website, and I urge the members of the Assembly to read them. Now, I also want to express once again our gratitude to the women whose stories we listened to yesterday, and I would also add to that the women whose stories we heard today. I think it was a really worthwhile exercise, and I'm very grateful to them. All of those women, I commend their bravery in speaking about intensely private and personal details of their lives. And also, I should say, the same applies to all the individuals who shared their personal stories through the submissions process. And as Sharon explained yesterday, they're all on the website, and she explained how you can access them. I'm not so sure I would be able to do it, but from the advice you got yesterday, you should be able to do it. Now, I just want to talk briefly about the next weekend, which is the 22nd and the 23rd of April, and this will be our final meeting to consider the 8th Amendment, and we will be focusing exclusively on balloting. So the weekend will take a completely different structure to what we've been used to over the past four meetings. I can say definitively that it's not intended that we will receive any further presentations or papers for that weekend. That aspect of the process is finished. In relation to the structure, it's still a job in hand, as it were. And but I'll just say this much. In a few moments, the citizens will do their final piece of work for the weekend. That's the reflective exercise. We're asking you to complete an anonymous, and I stress anonymous, feedback sheet. And you're being asked to make comments and preliminary suggestions on what types of issue you think should be voted upon or included on a ballot paper for our final weekend. Comments and suggestions can refer to the legal process or to other aspects of the substantive issue. Now, I want you to fully understand this. This is not meant to record definitely the views of the citizens in any way, but the object of the exercise is to assist myself and the Secretariat and the expert advisory group in planning the work programme for the last weekend in April. I should say that, of course, the steering group will have an important role to play in this process over the next 6 weeks. We have a 6-week gap, and hopefully we will meet with the steering group on a number of occasions when we've moved things along a little bit. Broadly speaking, I see the final weekend comprising a series of important steps. Approving the issues to be included in a ballot, giving approval to the precise wording of the ballot, and finally voting. It is important to recall in this regard that the Assembly is an exercise in deliberative democracy, and therefore the members must be able to take full ownership of the recommendations they are making. Given the complexity of the topic, I anticipate that each one of these aspects will be challenging. I have no doubt that is the case. We may need to consult further with relevant experts. No definitive view has been taken on that. And we may possibly need to have them on hand at the weekend. Again, no definitive view has been taken on that. What is clear, though, is that we will require a full weekend to reach our conclusions. The results of the vote will form the recommendations we provide to the Houses of the Oireachtas. And as I said yesterday, I'm confident we will meet our deadline of providing a report with our recommendations to the Houses of the Oireachtas on the 8th Amendment by the end of June this year. Now, I just want to say something about the schedule for the remaining meetings in relation to the remaining topics when we've dealt with the 8th Amendment. First of all, the decision has been made to remove the May date from our schedule and to include a new date in September, at the very end of September. This is to allow us to complete our report on the 8th Amendment without impediment and to prepare comprehensively for our remaining important topics. This means that we will be considering the challenges and opportunities of an ageing population at the June meeting. We will be opening the submissions process on this topic in the coming weeks. Climate change will be considered at the July meeting, and on the last weekend in September we will consider the remaining two issues, fixed term parliaments and the manner in which referenda are held. Even with this rescheduling, I'm confident that we will complete our work within the 1 year time frame from the first meeting, which the resolution of the Oireachtas stipulates. We're now going to move into a private session to allow the members to provide the feedback I spoke about earlier. For now, though, I would like to thank all of the members for their hard work and concentration this weekend. And I have to say, by just sitting up here and looking down, the engagement and concentration was absolutely amazing. I'm very, very grateful to all of you. It has been a difficult and emotional weekend, but as usual, I am encouraged by the dedication and engagement of each one of you this weekend, and we'll see you all in April. Thank you very much.